Hello and welcome to Your Choice 2024 primary election coverage on HOMTV. I'm your host, Danisha McDowell. Today, we're here for a candidate interview with Joshua Rockey, Republican candidate running for Michigan's 73rd District State Representative in the Michigan State Legislature. Josh, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
having me.
And at this time, if you may briefly introduce yourself to the viewing audience.
I'm Josh Rockey. I am, as you said, run for state rep, business owner for over 20 years. Have actually my business in Weberville, which is inside the district. Graduated from Weberville schools, where I got taught by a lot of amazing teachers that were just phenomenal. Attended LCC shortly after high school and actually became the technology director for Weberville schools. Coming into for a couple years when I started my business, which is IT support business, and that took off, and I pursued the American dream of having a small business, and I've lived in Hazlitt, and then I also lived in Dansville for 17 years and just was able to complete one of my goals of building a house actually in Williamston, and that's where I reside currently.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Each 73rd District candidate will be asked a standard list of questions, starting with question number 1. Explain how your education and professional background make you an ideal candidate for the 73rd District Representative in state legislature.
My education is, a lot of it comes from being a small business owner. Again, I support a ton of businesses in the district, so I've got to see a very good wide range of what it takes to run various different industries in the district itself, as well as, you know, I learned from great teachers in Weberville and LCC, and also just continue to learn every day and listen to people and listen to what they need and what they're what they're having struggles with. And I feel like that's one of the best qualities you can have, is by just listening and learning from everyone around you.
Please tell us about the communities and people of the 73rd District and how you plan to meet their needs.
We have an amazing variety of people and different, we have a very, very good rural area, and we also have a very awesome amount of small towns and even larger towns inside the district. And I think that is a great mix. I think it represents a lot of the state of Michigan, because the state of Michigan is made up of a lot of those. So it's a really awesome district, and I think by listening to everyone, and again, I grew up in the district. I've been pretty much a resident somewhere around the district. Friends and family are all around the district. So I think it's just a great, I've got great knowledge of that. And again, I'm willing to listen and willing to see what and properly represent the people in the district.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next several questions will cover prominent issues throughout the state of Michigan. In 2022, Proposal 2 was passed by Michigan voters. This proposal brought numerous changes to elections in Michigan and the ways people can vote. Now that these changes have been put into practice, can you tell me your thoughts about these changes?
I believe any ability to make it easier to vote is a great thing. It's an amazing opportunity as a citizen of this great country to be able to voice your opinion, voice it through voting. And I think giving access to that is, to the more people that you can, I think is a great thing. I think we also need to make sure that our elections are secure, reliable. I'm on IT field, so I know technology isn't always super reliable or secure, so making sure that those avenues are in there. And I think anytime there is fraud or any even indication of that, I think it needs to be completely vetted, and I think it needs to be investigated to the foremost, and to make sure that going forward it doesn't happen again. I think one of the things reason why that is because I think we need to ensure that we have faith in our election system and make sure that people actually are very have their undying faith in the election process, because of how important I think it is.
In 2022, Michigan voters also passed Proposal 3, the right to reproductive freedom in Michigan. Please share your stance on abortion and the governing of abortion in both Michigan and the United States.
I am personally pro-life. However, the state, obviously with Proposal 3, they did vote on it. It did pass. It passed by a majority. So I fully believe in the Constitution of the state of Michigan and the Constitution of the United States. And so I think the people have spoken on that point. I think it would be nice to see a better adoption process, make it easier to adopt. I also think it would be nice to see, make sure we have CPS is fully funded, and anything that can help children is in place to help them.
Share your thoughts on Michigan's current infrastructure and any improvements you hope to see.
We have a very interesting situation with infrastructure. One of our problems we have is even all the municipalities around the state are having issues with their water, with their roads, and finding funding sources to do that. I think to make sure that the taxes that we are generating are going to the right places. I think by doing warranties on roads and making sure that's being followed through to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck. And I think it's important because this is the future of our country and our kids' country, to make sure that the infrastructure is in place for another 50 to 100 years, because that's honestly what's currently underneath the ground right now that a lot of municipalities are struggling to get repaired or replaced.
How do you plan to address economic instability and inflation within the state?
I think inflation is something that the federal government has a lot to do with, so it's hard to do that. But I think by making us a economic powerhouse of having less, as much less burdensome regulations as possible, as well as lower taxes, I think helps promote small businesses. Again, I'm a small business owner, and we support a lot of small business owners, and I think part of that is their struggle to pay, property taxes, income taxes, and other taxes, and a lot of regulations that they get burdensome with. That makes it hard to be a small business owner, and we need to encourage the small businesses to grow and to obviously hire people, because I think by hiring people and making us a good employer for the whole country and make Michigan one of the better outlooks for a business to want to locate here, I think it would be great.
Please address the preservation of Michigan's natural resources.
Okay, Michigan's an awesome state. I mean, it really is. We have some of the greatest tourism in the country. We have a absolutely amazing ecosystem of different cool things, from the UP to the lower part of Michigan to the upper part of the lower peninsula. I'm actually a Jeep person, and I Jeep all over the state, and it's one thing that I'm part of. I'm a member of Tread Lightly, which is responsible off-roading and maintaining those systems so that we have them here for many years to come. So I think it's important to protect our natural resources to ensure that they're here for a long time. We have some of the biggest amount of water, fresh water in the world, and I think it's important to make sure we protect that as much as we can so that it's here for many, many years to come.
Recently, Michigan's automotive companies have experienced challenges related to consumer interest in electric vehicles and labor group interest in wage increases. How do you think the state of Michigan should be involved in supporting these companies?
I think we have an amazing auto industry here in Michigan. We are the auto capital of the world, and we have some of the best auto workers in the country and in the world, in my opinion. I have a lot of friends that are UAW workers that are just amazing people. And I think by letting the big three, or even any car company, harness technology how they need to, don't try to artificially step up the timetable and actually provide a product. I mean, the companies are amazing at creating products to sell to customers, and they know what their customers want. So let that come around. Look into alternative energy sources as well and continue to build that. But you can't artificially push technology past the point it's at. And I think it's involving the car companies to find the best thing for their product and for the people that they're actually building cars for, to make sure it's what they want and that they can sell them. Because we have a problem now that a lot of the companies are coming out saying that's costing them to produce these cars, and I think we need to find a way to make sure it works for everyone and make sure that we continue to support our auto workers and the what makes Michigan the auto capital of the world. We need to make sure we're attractive to them and continue to find ways for them to sell their product and be profitable doing it.
Share your thoughts on any plans for school safety throughout the state.
I think the schools should have as much resources as they can from the state. I think it's important that the districts are one of the best catalysts for knowing exactly what their students need and what the students require for safety. And so I think giving the districts every resource we can that they need and that they request, I think is the best way to handle the school safety, because every district is very unique in what their needs are and what their requirements are.
Thank you so much again for joining me, Josh.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into this candidate interview with Joshua Rockey, Republican candidate running for Michigan's 73rd District State Representative in the Michigan State Legislature. I'm Denisha McDowell. Thank you for watching.
Hi, my name is Josh Rockey. I am running for state representative in the 73rd State House District. I grew up in Weberville. I learned from some of the great teachers in Weberville School District and at Lansing Community College, but mostly I learned from my mom. My sister and I was raised by a single mom. Unfortunately, we lost my mom recently after a difficult fight with cancer. But we learned valuable lessons from her and from watching her example. My mom taught us what integrity is. Your word is your bond, the importance of a promise, and always to make sure you listen to everyone you meet and always smile. She taught us the importance of hard work by her example. She worked very hard to take care of the two of us. We didn't always get what we wanted, but we always had what we needed. She believed in being a positive force and us continuing that legacy. The reason I'm running for office today is that it seems in our politics, everyone's talking and few are really listening to each other or to the people they represent. There is too much partisanship, finger pointing, and grasping for credit whenever something goes right. Frankly, I'm tired of it. We have too many problems that need fixing, and that requires common sense, bipartisan solutions. Our kids need help in school. Our roads need fixing, and the middle class is getting squeezed by higher prices at every turn. I don't have all the solutions, but I'm willing to listen to anyone and work with anyone to improve the lives of Michigan citizens. I want to be that positive voice for everyone in the 73rd District, and we can accomplish great things together. Trust me with your vote, and I promise I will make sure you are heard. Vote for me, Josh Rockey, for state rep. Thank you.